Hey everyone, so it's the last installment of A Movie a Day, and I wanted to end on a high note. I found the movie Chef on Netflix. It has 5 out of 5 stars, and it was under the category of feel good movies, which I completely agree with after watching it. It was an excellent movie, very entertaining, and it leaves you in a great mood. It stars John Favreau, but not only that, it's also directed and written by him as well. I think he does an amazing job. He really captures the passion that his character has for cooking. Even the shots that they have of him making some of the dishes. He makes a grilled cheese sandwich look like art. A masterpiece is hash browns and bacon and eggs. It's just excellent. His ex-wife in the movie is played by Sofia Vergara. She's also excellent. I think she does a great job. She has starred in a bunch of different big roles lately. I think she does a great job. She started with TV and Modern Family stuff like that, and she's really progressing well. And then between those two characters, you have their son. He's about 10 years old, and I'm not sure the name of the child actor, but he does a fantastic job as well. I think that his reactions are so sincere and genuine that like in the scenes it almost seems real. Like it seems like he's not even acting. The dynamic between the family is extremely lifelike, very very realistic. You have the ex-wife and the husband, and they're still friends and they're still staying together. They live separately, but they're still talking for the kid. And then the kid doesn't see his father very often, so whenever the father does see him, he takes him out to the movies or to amusement parks, and he tries to fill the day with entertainment. And all the kid wants to do is just hang out with his dad, and talk, and go grocery shopping or hang out in the kitchen. So in that respect, very realistic. I love the dynamic between them. I think they do an excellent job. The movie itself, like I said, excellent feel good movie. Very entertaining. I suggest it. I recommend it. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. The main premise is John Favreau's character's name is Carl. He is a master chef at a restaurant in Los Angeles it's owned by an actor, or I'm sorry, it's owned by a character. The actor's Dustin Hoffman, who's another fantastic person to watch. I love all of his work. So there's this big critic coming in, very famous Los Angeles critic, and Carl wants to completely change the menu. And Dustin Hoffman's character is not allowing him, so the critic comes in and he tastes the stuff and he's like, "Look, I knew you 10 years ago, and this is completely different. I think you've changed, how you do everything. You've lost your creativity, and you're kind of just a crowd pleaser. You just make what sells well." And so obviously, Carl is upset with this because he knew that this was going to happen. So he and Dustin Hoffman's character have a falling out. He ends up leaving the restaurant. So I think that's a pretty good background. Anything here on out, I'd say is spoilers. So just forewarned. So what happens is, he's looking for prospects and he can't quite find them. So he ends up taking a trip down to Miami with his ex-wife and his son to go visit her father. And he ends up meeting with her ex-husband, who is played by Robert Downey Jr. And he's loaned out a food truck. And you have the whole montage of him and his son, cleaning out the food truck and bonding, and then he starts teaching him how to cook and how to make Cuban sandwiches and po' boys and all this different stuff. One of Carl's assistant chefs flies over from Los Angeles because he knows how much passion that Carl has for cooking, and he said he'd follow him anywhere. So they have this food truck, and they just end up having this great road trip, pretty much from Miami all the way to Los Angeles. There's a side story where Carl is kind of inept with social media and the internet in general, YouTube, Twitter, stuff like that. And he kind of has this big battle with the critic. He's filmed on YouTube going crazy in the restaurant, and there's a few tweets that go back and forth that go viral, and I think at the beginning he has like 20,000 followers or something. So his son ends up building on that, and his son is tweeting out wherever they go, "Hey, my dad's food truck is here. Come check out our stuff." And they end up getting an enormous following. So by the time they get back to Los Angeles, uh, they're famous. And so the critic comes back, and he has someone go get the food for him from the food truck. Obviously, they won't serve to him. And he calls the chef out and says, "Look, this is what I remember from 10 years ago. This is what I was expecting from the restaurant. And I love your stuff. I'll follow you anywhere. I'll even bankroll you. I have this place. I'm trying to open it up as a restaurant. I'd love for you to come work for me at this restaurant. And the end of the movie comes around, and it's just the happily ever after type stuff. He's working at this restaurant, and he's great friends with his son now, and he and his ex-wife even get back together. And it's just a very feel-good movie. As far as the plot itself, and I know I've said this in the past that some plots move slowly, and this one, it doesn't even have a climax. I'm watching this and I'm thinking, well, there has to be some problem. So something has to go wrong. And I even paused it just to see how much time was left. There are 8 minutes left. Nothing. There's no peak. There's no climax. There's no issue. There's nothing. And obviously, most of the time that doesn't work. You need that in order to move the plot along. Just to move the storyline, and that's not the case. I think that the story is so genuine and so real that it moves itself along, solo. I think that it does an amazing job. I really enjoyed it. It's very entertaining. I'm glad that this was the last one. I'm glad that I ended it with this. I really enjoyed doing it. So thanks very much for watching the video. Thanks very much for watching any video of the project. I hope you enjoyed. I did. A movie a day was definitely quite a project to undertake, but I really think that it was very enjoyable. If you'd still like to recommend a movie for me to watch, please let me know below. If you have any other comments or questions, discussion, leave those below as well. And I'll see everyone in the next project.